What up traders, what up investors, Ken here from the Dyslexic Investor, and we are going to be looking at some particular trades that I have put in place instead of just doing other people's trades or looking via the options chain to look at what other people or what other hedge funds or what other, I'm not considering myself at all a large trader, but more of an investment style of what's going on. First and foremost, we're just going to do a quick recap of the S&P 500, and then we're going to probably dive into, I believe, 4 stocks that I have recently purchased and the reason why and my in and out. So each time when I purchase something, I always have a game plan on when am I going to sell, on that's the good, bad, or ugly case, and what is my stop loss, what is my overall profit to take some off the table. Alright, so that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the S&P 500. We've been kind of just trading sideways as we kind of talked about this with our last live stream on Sunday regarding just kind of the kangaroo market kind of just bouncing in and around, showing a lot of support around the 200-day exponential moving average, which again on the S&P 500 or SPY is going to be around 296. Potentially even to 293, because that's where the 50-day and 200 kind of come in. Once we see the 50-day potentially cross through the 200, that could be a substantial sign for a lot of the value investors and the more traditional technical analysis to be a lot more bullish. That being said, this is basically the opposite of a death cross. The death cross is when the 50 crosses below the 200. You can kind of get some selling here. You can kind of sell that here in the previous months. That being said, I kind of think this pattern is going to be in reverse, and potentially we could get a nice little lift up, breaking above the 315, 317 for a push to around the 323 once again within the next week or two. That being said, that's my overall view of the market right now. We're just kind of sitting on our hands, trading sideways, and just there's some other outlining stocks that has been performing extremely well. All right, let's go over to the very first one, which is actually came from one that we did via the Patreon, where I had some trading ideas where I posted it on the 15th. So about 3 days ago, we posted this looking for net, which is Cloudflare stock, to kind of push higher here, looking for a nice little kick up. Bought in around, I believe it was $31, and now we'll look at the total update here in a second. We can pop back over here. We're going to go into net. It's currently around, they hit a high of around $36 today. Again, what we looked for, again, buying in around the $30-ish, $31.50 between those prices. Seeing this TTM squeeze down here from John Carter, really setting up for a nice propulsion. We do see a lot of volume coming in, which we do like for the positive, because the RSI was climbing on that volume, and same with the volume oscillator was going up higher. Looking for kind of to peak out here around 37 to 38 potentially, to kind of start trading sideways and potentially kind of wait for these moving averages to kind of kick in. So that was a fantastic trade. We did skim a little bit of it off. That being said, we're holding just a little bit to see on how it continues throughout the rest of the week. Next one is actually one that came from the live stream, and this is Sorrento Therapeutics, and this is a pure speculative play. It's a pharmaceutical company that's a lot of it's tied to the overall pandemic and the virus that we're currently dealing with. That we are just trading sideways here. Kind of bought in, I believe it was on Monday. It was around when it kind of got to like the 450, 475 limit level. Kind of just been trading sideways, no profit quite yet. But we're looking here is that we need to see more volume coming in. We do see this beautiful TTM squeeze kind of starting to go higher. All we're missing is the volume oscillator start breaking above like the plus 40 potentially, and then the RSI start kicking up. We could get an easily print above 550, potentially even to $6 within the near future. Again, this is going to be much more speculative in the sense of it's really going to be tied to some kind of news that the company's coming out with. But looking at the chart here, it's kind of poised to a higher print in the next probably 2 to 3 weeks, potentially even sooner if something really great comes out from these guys. Next is actually one that we are currently waiting on to buy, and which is Costco. And Costco is a again, one of my favorite places to go, if you know me personally, is I can spend hours there at Costco just going through the aisles. That being said, it's kind of been in a very tight, strange trading range. We can draw this little box here to kind of help highlight that. By this, kind of just trading in between like the 315 down to like the 295-ish level, and just kind of trading sideways, even with great earnings coming out. Just kind of been trading sideways, and now kind of a slight, I wouldn't say sell-off, but looks like it just kind of, people are just kind of getting out of it. Potentially looking, again, the 5 and 8 have crossed the 21, so potentially kind of going down. The squeeze has also fired short. RSI is not printing substantially lower, but the volume oscillator has been somewhat flat in negative territory. Kind of want to see this start curling up, but what we're waiting for is a potential move to around the 200 exponential moving average, so around the 295 limit, potentially slightly lower. So we're going to do around 293. We're going to create an alert there for a potential trading opportunity. Kind of start maybe not going in with a full position, but just start nibbling around these price targets if nothing drastic happens. If you start seeing some really steep red candles trying to ping at those levels, that would be concerning, and I wouldn't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole and kind of wait for it kind of level out and build a base like we saw previously around this area here, which we can highlight as well to kind of show this movement here. We kind of want this to kind of copy over here potentially and to kind of build a position within that wonderful looking box. So that was that one. Another one we got into is CRM. CRM, again, Salesforce, the Mark Benioff company. You see the guy everywhere. He does all kinds of crazy things in the sense of everyone who's ever created any kind of SaaS company is somehow related to Salesforce. That being said, you can look at Okta, you can look at other, I can't think of other top companies on the top of my head, but we can throw a couple up there. At this one, we kind of bought into this one once the 34 was kind of holding here. Again, with the RSI kind of flat, the volume oscillator at the time was above 0, just kind of holding in a weird holding pattern. But there wasn't anything significant yet. I think this one still has some potential to go higher. Again, we're looking for around 288 here, so it's $3 or $4 higher from where we're currently looking at. You kind of see here we kind of gave it some room to run because the 34 exponential moving average, which is the orange line here, to kind of give it some time to continue to play out, and it played out substantially faster than we thought since the parabolic SAR has already switched, really kind of grinding higher, potentially looking for a slight stall or a slight price target around 188 potentially to start getting out here. And the reason how we got that was to a Fibonacci retracement, swing high to swing low. The 718 is really strong, so that's around the 178.5 price target level for potential support. Really strong support again around that 65 limit, so we're going to kind of give this a little bit of room to run. This is going to be a position for us, I always say for us, it's for myself and my family, for a long-term horizon, so we can kind of zoom this out to a weekly side of things. The momentum is extremely high in this one right now, but the RSI is nowhere near the overbought reading that we normally would see in this previous company. And one more for shoots and giggles is Adobe, and Adobe is one that we've kind of talked about quite a bit. Currently not in it, but would love to get the opportunity to buy this one, because if you've never seen this the technical analysis on Adobe before, is it literally holds that 21 like anything. Like, it just looks so beautiful on holding this 21 exponential moving average. If it comes down to this, we'll probably sell some puts. Again, this is a very high price stock at $418 currently, hitting an all-time high just today, so be mindful of that. This is just a very high performing stock and looking for it to continue to grow, being a wonderful addition to potentially our portfolio. Guys, hopefully that was educational and you guys really enjoyed it. Again, thank you again, everyone, for the ongoing support. If you're interested, we have a fantastic Discord chat, which you can join completely free down below. We will share ideas, different figures. We have awesome memes, different trading ideas, and different fun things like that. Looking at that, also, like we talked about too, you're welcome to join the Patreon page, again, that supports the channel directly, and you kind of get some little special things regarding that as well. Definitely check that out. And again, we're going to probably have a potential another live stream today, or most likely Friday during market hours, and then on top of having the Sunday stock talk as well around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this coming Sunday. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.